What's going on, everyone? It's David. We are Smart Fitness, and today we're going to be going over a video on squat progressions. I've got Sean with me. He's a guy I go to school with. He is competing in his first powerlifting event in about 8 weeks. So he's basically going to be demonstrating everything as I more or less talk it through, and he's going to add some nuanced comments. So, to start, when you're teaching somebody how to squat, you would obviously want to give them some sort of screening protocol. So a good rule of thumb is to screen to see if they can do a bodyweight squat. So Sean will get you face forward here and perform a bodyweight squat. So what we'd be looking for on a bodyweight squat here is that he's able to keep his back neutral, his knees travel on the outside, his hips don't fold underneath him, and his chest does not collapse. So you're going to come back up, and from this position we're going to say you're going to squat forward or do a squat. It's going to be absolutely awful. Just the worst thing you can possibly think of. So chest rounding, heels lifted, he's on his toes, chest collapses. So what would you do to regress this? We would have him grab onto a bar or some sort of stabilized support beam, and then from that position, you would have him squat down, thinking knees and hips both travel down at the exact same time, not even worrying about raising at this point in time because they're so far regressed. From here, we're able to notice his chest stays much more upright, his spine stays neutral, knees travel out, heels are down, everything's beautiful. From this position, we would progress him to a counterbalance squat, assuming that he's able to do the support squat, but his bodyweight squat still sucks. For counterbalance squat, the rationale for why you would use this as your next progression is because you're offsetting the load that was typically the wall, which weighs more than you, as something being much lighter as a 10-pound weight, but when it's held up front, you have an external load to basically support yourself into. So again, hold it up front, have the whole lined up with your eyes, and then from that position, think straight down, knees and hips both travel down. Again, he's able to reproduce that spinal position that is neutral, everything is strong and stabilized. If they're unable to do this, realistically, you would regress them back to the wall here. But we're going to say that Sean is able to do it. So his next squat progression would be a goblet squat or a front squat. So from here, we've gone from taking the load straight up front, and now we've got it close to his center of mass, so he's got a combined center of gravity between the dumbbell and his body. So same premise applies to counterbalance squat. Think knees and hips both travel down at the same time, chest elevated, neutral spinal position. Beauty. So we'll get you to turn sideways for everyone to see what it looks like from a neutral spinal position. And same thing applies. Good. Nice and upright. Assuming they can't do that and they're folding forward, you would regress back to a counterbalance squat or a wall squat, or even a bodyweight squat. Next progression would be a front squat. So why are we saying the front squat is your next progression, not a back squat? The rationale for this is because a back squat, technically, from a technical perspective, requires a little bit more finesse than a front squat. Front squat, you more or less get the elbows nice and high and crossed over, and then the exact same premise as a goblet squat applies. Whereas a back squat, you've got to worry about stabilizing an external load through your posterior chain, which you don't have to worry about with the front squat. Sean, you got anything you want to add to that?
So another reason front squat is a little bit better as a progression, or as a progression to the back squat. Is because you've got a little bit less hip flexion, so spine stays in a little bit better position when they're learning the movement, so there's a little bit lower chance of injury.
Good. Okay. So we'll get you to hop underneath here for a front squat. Let me do both variations with the front rack position and then just the crossover position. So as you notice, the load is closely lined up with his body. It's a little bit closer than what it would be for a goblet squat, so he doesn't have to worry about the load really traveling forward. So we'll get you to squat down here, perform 1 or 2 reps for me. Good. Same applies, neutral spinal position, none of that really changes. You're going to have some flexion of the sacrum, the low back area, but that is relatively normal. And then, if you're unable to get that front rack position, we can go into kind of the bodybuilder bro crossover version, but I'm going to go over in about 5 seconds as to why that's not the most optimal position. So we perform 2 reps. So exact same premise applies. You want to make sure the entire posterior chain is nice and tight. You're still bracing. Knees and hips are both still dropping out first. The reason for why this is kind of your optimal setup is because as the load gets heavier, you want to be able to make sure that you're loading your shoulders rather than loading your elbows and your arms. So this front rack position is a lot more stable. He's not really going to drop down. Versus if you use to cross over his arms, so you're going to cross over. As the load gets heavier, it's a lot harder to support yourself and keep it upright from that position. Sean kind of made it a little bit more aggressive than what it would be. But as the load gets heavier, you are going to revert into that position, and then obviously as you're reverting into that position, your spine's going to flex, so you're going to have one of these kind of like good morning squats coming back up. So to avoid that, work on that front rack position. From here, we would work into a back squat. So there's two variations of the back squat. There's a high bar and the low bar. I'm going to let Sean discuss the differences between the two. Take it away, buddy.
So high bar, the bar is positioned a little bit higher on the traps. What that does is it, in relation to the front squat, it places the load a little bit more on the hips. So glutes and hamstrings force you to a little bit more hip flexion, a little bit more knee flexion than you would in a low bar. That's generally the best bang for your buck for athletic performance. Then the low bar, traditionally for powerlifting, allows you to shift as much as you can onto the glutes, hamstrings, and forces you to the most hip flexion, and allows you to use the biggest and most powerful muscles of the lower body. And generally considered more technical of the movements, again, because you're getting a little bit more hip flexion, you increase that moment arm on the spine. So if you're not doing it properly, you do have an increased chance of injury.
Additionally to that, when you're doing a low bar squat, there's a tendency for people to go into inter-rotation with their shoulders. So some people do complain of shoulder pain as well as elbow pain because they end up supporting the load through their elbow versus actually on the spine and scapula. So that's something that you need to be aware of when you're getting into that low bar position. You need to actually work on your interaxial rotation, work on the placement of the bar, which Sean is going to demonstrate for us. So we'll start with the high bar squat. So in your high bar squat, like Sean was saying, is basically resting at the top meaty portion of your traps. But for a high bar squat, it's the same premise as basically your golf squat, front squat, hips and knees both travel down. There's a little bit more forward sway with the spinal position, but it is nothing too aggressive. So in this position, I'm going to have Sean face me with his body, and his back is going to face the camera just to kind of give you guys a little breakdown of where he's at the bar position. So you'll notice that he's got his back nice and tight, shoulder blades are pinched together, elbows are nice and tight, bars resting on the meat of his traps. In relation to a low bar squat, so we accept that, notice how immediately his hands go a little bit wider to compensate for that rotation that's going to be occurring there. A lot of people are not able to keep their hands as close together in a low bar squat to get the bar lower. So as you see, he's got the bar lower, probably a good inch, inch and a half, and then from that position, he's created a shelf. So again, pinching everything nice and tight. Elbows are not loose, and then as he goes to deep press into his squat, we'll form one with his back facing the camera, and one at the side. You'll notice that it's a lot more load on his hips and a lot less loading on his knees. So we have to face towards the wall again first, and form one more round. So you can see that the moment arm, as well as the angle produced from the spine, is a lot longer than what it was on a front squat.
So as somebody with an existing knee injury or chronic injury, patellar tendonitis, I find that low bar, just because it's got a little bit less knee flexion involved, is a lot easier on my knees.
Yeah. Simply because your lower arm is increasing from the hips as well as longer loading the hamstrings, quads are not loaded as much. Yeah, makes sense. Feels good. And moving into our last progression, it's kind of more of a nuanced progression. It would be your safety bar squat. It's not so much a progression as more of a
variation.
Yeah, like a variation of the same plane as your low bar and high bar squat. So we're going to Sean to set up here. Theoretically, the loading is more or less the same as a front squat, except the bar is on your back, lined up with your shoulders, except you're supporting yourself through your arms more or less being in front of you versus close to your body. So the load, as well as the combined center of mass, becomes a lot more far forward. And from that position, we'll have Sean squat for us. So theoretically, you should be getting that same upright posture that you get in a front squat as well as a high bar squat. But as the load gets heavier, it's a lot harder to hold your arms upright in that position, and people begin to slouch into that default pattern of spinal flexion of the thoracic. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. From my end, Sean, do you have anything else you want to add?
Some common variations, pause squats, deep squats, ass to grass. There's quite a lot to play with. Generally, these are the few that you're going to be using most often.
Yeah. And then obviously, through those variations, with pauses like Sean was talking about, there's also pin squats, working just into negatives, tempo, eccentrics, the list goes on, but at the end of the day, you're still working through these variations to get to the gold standard of a heavy back squat in some way, shape, or form, and a heavy front squat in some way, shape, or form. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay strong.